people, and welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you today, and I want to start out this show on Thursday with this thought. That totally just happened. Yes, in fact, Donald Trump has been impeached once again. It just makes me laugh so hard. I know there's some people who are butthurt about that, but they don't watch the show, and I honestly don't care. For real, that was wild today. I didn't watch it all. I'm not claiming I watched it all. And I do want to tip the hat to the 10 Republicans that voted to impeach. I honestly thought, given the traffic of yesterday, I thought it was going to be more like 15 or 20, but we'll take 10. Hell, I'll take one. I don't really care. But it's just hilarious to me that Donald Trump has been impeached now twice. Once for abusing the power of the presidency, and the second time for fomenting sedition. Like, I don't know that there are even conceivably higher crimes that can be committed by a president or a person in office than to abuse their power and to foment sedition against their state. Right? Can't think of anything. And the history records are now going to have evidence of these 190-something Republicans who think that that's not worthy of being impeached, and many of whom thought Bill Clinton lying about oral sex was worthy of being impeached, right? Like, I want you to process that. They thought that Bill Clinton had violated the highest standards of comportment and clearly had to be impeached in order to protect the sanctity of the office, the moral standing of the office of the presidency. Woo-wee. You want to talk about some hypocrites. Oh my goodness. You know, and I don't know if you got a chance to see AOC's video on Twitter, but she was basically calling out the fact that they're really never backed the blue. They never believed in fiscal responsibility. They never really believed in ethical behavior. They don't believe in not cheating on your wife. They don't believe in emails. They don't believe in any of the things that they have said over the many years. They don't believe any of it, which makes you wonder if they ever did, but they certainly don't believe it now. What they believe now is that they are under siege and it is their job to protect white supremacy. And if they lose power, then white supremacy is going to be a thing of the past. And then what will do? People will start dancing. You know, like, what will happen if white supremacy is gone? You know, but that is where we're at. We're at a party that is in the desperate, inexplicable death throes of just anything goes kind of clinging to the myth of white supremacy. And they're literally up there saying, hey, yeah, I know we've spent the last months trying to invalidate the election and attack Joe Biden and attack libs and Democrats and called every Democrat a socialist. Yeah, I know we've done all that. But you know what would be really divisive is if you held anybody accountable for sedition. That would be divisive. Nothing we've done is divisive, of course. No. We need to heal the nation, but we need to heal the nation from the feelings they have about you, not the feelings they have about us. Isn't that weird? 81,200,000 people voted for Joe Biden. And they think that the mission of the country is to heal the feelings of the people who lost the election and have been lying about it since the very beginning. Pourquoi? I find that mystifying. So, to the fuck your feelings crew, fuck your feelings. You committed crimes, you need to pay for your crimes. And there's no, I mean, the thing is, I started my career as a criminal defense attorney, and I've made arguments for criminals. That's what you do when you're a criminal defense attorney. You make arguments for criminals, right? I was a professional excuse maker for the first 3 years of my career. I could come up with every conceivable reason why you should give my client the benefit of the doubt, the second chance, or find him not guilty of the thing that he's likely guilty of. I know every excuse in the book. I made up half of them. But But let me tell you, I never once, as a criminal defense attorney, made the argument that you need to let my client go in order to prohibit him so that he won't do more crime. Right? Like you need to find my client not guilty in order to ensure that he doesn't commit more crimes. Like that just does not calculate in criminal law of any kind, right? Nor did I ever go to a jury and say, hey, the reason you need to find my client not guilty is that if you find him guilty, his friends and his family will go and do crime in his behalf. I'm not sure that there's a jury in America that would go for that. Because that feels a lot like extortion, doesn't it? Like if you don't give me my way, then I'm going to use more violence on you. That's an El Chapo kind of thing, right? Isn't that what the mob would do, right? Like, hey, juror A, if you don't find my client not guilty, then I'm going to put a dead horse in your bed. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. Because not only was that the arguments coming out of the mouths of members of Congress on the floor today, but the reporting has been that the members who didn't vote for impeachment, many of them expressed that they feared Donald Trump's base and Donald Trump's posse, and that is why they voted against impeachment. Let me see if I can explain that to you. Donald Trump knows what he controls, which is a bunch of lunatic, racist incels with a lot of weapons who are losing their shit because they're seeing that the power and the mystique of white maleness is just crumbling, and it's the only thing they had going for them. So they're losing their shit. Now, it is not just Donald Trump that knows what he controls. Every Republican also knows what he controls. Every Democrat knows what he controls. And people like me who were threatened and had our lives threatened by those guys also knows what he's controlled. He controls. It is not news to anybody that as a progressive Black woman running in Florida, I got death threats, oh plenty. I did. What was I gonna do? Back down? I just sucked it up and kept going because that's what you do when you're fighting a righteous cause, right? But I know for a fact that Donald Trump controls a bunch of incel minions. My problem is that rather than calling that out, members of the Republican Party are like, yeah, why should I risk it? Nothing in it for me. I mean, I know the Republic and, the Constitution, but, I take an oath, but surely you didn't mean for me to, run any risk myself. Now, I want to keep in mind that the people who don't want to risk themselves and their family and don't want to take on the hyena pack were more than happy to unleash that hyena pack on Ilhan Omar, right? They were more than happy to unleash that hyena pack on AOC, on Ayanna Pressley, on Nancy Pelosi. They were more than happy. They were perfectly fine with Democrats in the House taking incoming fire from that same hyena pack and having taken it for 2 years or more. They were perfectly cool with that. But God forbid they face that pack? Oh, no, I surely can't. I don't have the courage for that, boo-boo. Which is so like GOP DNA, which is I can only whip up empathy, compassion, or concern for myself and the things that I personally experience. If I'm not being threatened, I have no empathy. But if I'm being, threatened, then all of a sudden I have concern. It's like the Meghan McCain school of politics. I can only relate to it if it's happening to me. And if it's happening to you, screw you and the horse you came in on. You're a whiner. You're a lib. I drink lib tears. Do you now? Am I supposed to be drinking Trumper tears right now? So, with that said, Donald Trump is now the only president in history to be impeached twice. And he should have been impeached 3 times, if you ask me, because he should have been impeached on the Mueller report. That is the place where I separated and really had a problem with Nancy Pelosi, because she said something I thought was absolutely unconscionable, which was, he's not worth it. And lady, you don't impeach Donald Trump because he's worth it. You impeach Donald Trump because the Constitution is worth it. And it didn't get easier later. It didn't, right? It didn't get better by letting him get away with it the first time, or the 7th, or the 15th, or the 25th. So when it comes to bullies, there's only one way to deal with them, and that is to hit them so hard and punch them so hard in the throat that they think twice about ever coming for you. That's the way you deal with a bully. All right, so that just happened. Let's move on to segment 2. If you like what you just heard, you can find out so much more and hear so much more on my Patreon channel, patreon.com/Pam Keith FL. That's where you hear the rest of this discussion, and there's lots more to share.